Hello friends, today's handmade card is a pretty cherry blossom card made with Close to My Heart's Flower Market cartridge bundle, Close to My Heart's cardstock and ink. Here are the products I used to make this card. I used the Flower Market cartridge, I used the cherry blossom image and a bow image off of this cartridge. I used sorbet ink and I used sorbet cardstock. I also used pixie cardstock and fern cardstock and white daisy cardstock. I used two stamp sets. The one is with the Flower Market cartridge, and I used the small Happy Thoughts, I don't know if you can see it, the tiny Happy Thoughts stamp, which I used to outline the outside of the card. The other stamp set I used was from Swan Lake, and I used the Thinking of You stamp set from that. I also used some liquid glass to give the center of the flowers a little pop, and I used two markers from Zig, one in a brown and one in a pink. And so let's get started and I'll show you how I made the card. The first thing I did is I cut the card base from sorbet cardstock, and that card base is cut at 5.5 by 4.25, so it's 5.5 by 8. And then I cut a white daisy mat that's also 5.5 by 4.25, which when we assemble the card, it's going to be slanted like that. And those Happy Thoughts are going to be stamped around the outside of the white to give the pink a little bit of a pizzazz. Then I cut 6 branches. There's 3 sets of these cherry blossom branches, and I did them all in fern green. Now it says on when you cut the image, there's another layer to this, which is brown to make the stems look like wood, and then I would assemble that on top of the green. But I decided to color them in with a marker to give it a little bit more texture rather than just adhere some brown cardstock. I also used, this is pixie cardstock to cut out 18 of the flowers. This is sorbet cardstock that goes in the center. And then I used this pretty geranium red to make a dot in the center to give it some accent. And I put some liquid glass on it to make it pop a little more. So the first thing I did, I cut the 2 mats. So I made the cardstock base and I cut the mat. The next thing I did was I cut all of these images out, and they're all cut at 1 3/4 wide. And then the next thing I did is I colored in the branches brown. Okay, so now I've got all 6 branches colored in brown. I did both sides so that when I go to assemble it, if I want to tuck them in a different way, both sides are covered. The next thing I'm going to do is go around the outside of the card base in the sorbet ink with my little Happy Thoughts stamp. Okay, so I've gone around the outside of the card. I don't know if you can see it because I did the sorbet on the sorbet just to give it a little dimension. It says Happy Thoughts. I just went around the outside of the card, and then this is going to be slanted on it with the flowers. Now the next thing, I had cut out 18 flowers, so now I have to assemble the 18 flowers. So they go together, one on top of each other, just like this. And then I'm going to put a dot in the center of this red geranium Zig marker, and then I'm going to color in the dot with color on top of the dot with the liquid glass. So I'm going to assemble all 18 flowers before I put them on the white card base. All the flowers have been made. I attached the 2 shades of pink and then put a red dot with a marker, and then use some glossy accents, or in my case liquid glass from Close to My Heart, to pop up the circle in the center a little bit to give it a little bit of shine. And the next step would be to put the branches on the card and then put the flowers on the branches. But before I do that, I am going to attach the white mat to the card and then put the branches right on there. So here I have the card, and you can see that I had stamped the happy thoughts around it. And I'm going to put this on at a slant, like so. And then before I attach the branches, I'm going to trim the white off. I guess I should have done it from this side because it would be a cleaner cut. Still isn't perfect, but I'll get it there. So here you have the slanted card, and now I'm going to put the branches on. And what I decided to do is I put the branches on one by one, like so. And then as I do each branch, I'm going to put the flowers on the branch, adhere the flowers to the branch before adding the next branch, so it gives it some layering effect rather than put all the branches and then just plop the flowers down on front. So let me get these on and then I'll be back to you in a bit. Okay, so now I've added all the flowers, and I've added the bow with a pop-up dot. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Thinking of You stamp and put it over here. I ended up using only 5 of the 6 branches, and I used about 15 of the flowers. I thought it was full enough, so I didn't use the extras. But I think it looks really pretty, so let's get the Thinking of You stamp on and then we're finished. So I've added the Thinking of You in the black ink, and that Thinking of You is from the Swan Lake stamp set. And there were also from the Swan Lake stamp set, there are some flowers. So what I ended up doing, if you can see it here, I used the Thinking of You, you can see it, for the sentiment, and then I took the largest flower stamp here and I stamped it in black on the inside of the card and used my 3 leftover flowers as decorative on the inside. Because the pinks match, I didn't want to put it directly on the pink, so I just used that stamp and then put the flowers on top of the stamp to give it a little color inside. So there it is. This is my Cherry Blossom Thinking of You card. I think it's really pretty. I hope you like it. It's very easy to make, and it's a fun card, and I think it's very pretty. So thank you for watching my video. You can get detailed instructions at my website, margaritasmadness.com. I hope you'll check out my website. There are many flower market cartridge projects on it, and I thank you for watching. Have a great day.